Hello everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Kaladesh Draft League. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content and like the videos. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Inez27. Alright, opened Master Trinketeer. Yeah, I've played with it, played against it. Super strong card, it definitely can take the game over, so we'll take him. What else is in here that's good? Die Young. Revoke Privileges, Reckless Fireweaver. I like the Hawk, the Scourge, the Gearper Guide. All of those are pretty good, but happy to take a Trinketeer. All right. Ooh, well, some really good cards in here. So, I mean, all the good cards in here are Meltdown, Extraction, Theorist, Pyrohelix, Die Young, Pioneer, Freighter, Monitor, Rhino. I think the safest pick is just Freighter. You're always happy to have it in your deck. It's super strong. It's well costed, and it doesn't commit me to anything. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Freighter. Pioneer would be on color with our first pick, and would synergize fairly well, too. But yeah, we're going to go Freighter. Very strong card. A lot of good removal in here, though. All right, Freighter. Okay, so now we have a Welding Sparks, which I probably am just going to take. I think it's very good removal. There's impeccable timing. Seed Sculptor, Doorbuster, Squad, Subtle Strike, Rhino. All of these cards are good. We're going to take the Sparks. Get a removal spell, and continue to figure out the path we shall take. Okay, so what are the good... God, that's a late... Well, not late. We're still super early in the draft, but 3 Rhinos? Jeez. I mean, I'm still happy with what we have, and we have some good options here. So there's Prism, which people just love. And it is good. There's a Fireweaver, which, I mean, we just did that plan, and it certainly works well when you have a lot of artifacts. I mean, it's actually really cool synergy with Trinketeer. Just spit out a 1/1, deal 1 damage to your opponent. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm not sure about this pick. I think we'll take the timing. People were telling me I was underrating it, so we can give it a try. I think it's a good card. And I think overall I think I like it more than the Puncturing Light from Oath of the Gatewatch. I'd rather deal damage than just destroy based on stats. But I still don't think it's like busted removal. I just think it's pretty playable removal. So we can take Bastion, Mastodon here, or Eager Construct. Probably like the Mastodon more. It is a 5-drop, however, but that's all right. It's good. And there's nothing else in here that's really catching my eye. So we'll take the Mastodon. I've been fairly impressed with the Elephant. Okay, another shot at Fireweaver. I'm okay with that. Take it over the Monitor. I mean, I guess once again, we're not necessarily red, but we're seeing some pretty decent red picks here. I mean, nothing insane, but Fireweaver and Built to Smash are both pretty playable. There's a late Glint Nest Crane. This must have went down with people, or else no one... I think a lot of people are maybe straying away from blue. I also like the Weldfast Monitor, but we can take the Fireweaver. I liked that plan. I thought that game plan was actually pretty effective. And I do actually like Fireweaver. So why don't we take it here? Okay. Jeez. Another Rhino? We can take the Grubs. I haven't played with Spark of Creativity. I think Travis said he didn't think it was very good when he played with it, but I mean, doesn't it cantrip at worst? Well, it doesn't really cantrip, though. You have to play it that turn. But it's only 1 mana. I don't know. I'd probably take the Grubs. They're fairly aggressive. I mean, I can just take the Rhino now, but I'm going to take the Grubs. We're going to see if we can't make this red-white thing work out again. All right, another Fireweaver. I liked the plan. Like I said, I really did like that deck. Obviously, it did not work out great for us, but I did like the deck. So we'll just take this. We'll try for the Artifacts Matters decks again, see if we can't be a little more successful. We don't have the Veteran Motorists this time around, but all Fireweavers. All right, I'm going to go deep on Fireweavers. Getting 3 in pack 1 is just a ton of motivation to get. Wow. We wield Chandra's Pyro Helix and the Pioneer. I kind of want the Pioneer now. Like, I like Pyro Helix, it's removal, but Pioneer I think is just better because we have triple Fireweaver and a Welding Sparks now. And the Trinketeer. Like, we're going to go for synergy over removal here, I think. And that seems to be sort of a trend in this format that's been a bit of a dilemma. We'll take the Wayward Giant. Is when to take... All right, we're going to take the Built to Smash over the second one. That's actually a pretty nice card. All right. When to take synergy over removal. And it's seemingly completely subjective to people. There's people that are just arguing, no, go synergy. And there's people that are like, what are you, crazy? You got to go removal. So I'm kind of at the point where I'm not exactly sure. For example, here I'm taking Fairgrounds Warden. The difference between a Chandra's Pyro Helix and a Fairgrounds Warden is infinite. So we're going to take the Fairgrounds Warden, passing the synergistic Glint Sleeve Artisan, and not even having a little problem with that. So, I guess Thriving Grubs is the only thing that's really on color with what we're doing. There's a Pressure Point too, but this pack is kind of devoid of anything bomb. Like Voyager's very good, Young's removal, Turtle's playable, so Cobra's playable. It's kind of weak pack overall. Just take the Grubs. Wow, Whirler Virtuoso. I mean, I could try and splash it. It feels like a very good card to splash. Although we only have a couple energy generations, so we'd have to focus a little bit on that. But it is a good Artifacts Matters cards. Maybe we just take the Pyro Helix here. There's also a Eddie Trailhawk, but we'll take the Pyro Helix, get another removal spell, Underhanded Design. We'll take it over the Mastodon and the Hawk. All right. Okay. Ballista Charger, I've been fairly impressed with, but I think I want the Artisan. There's a Self-Assembler, too. It's not too late to go for that. But this is kind of the difficult pick here, isn't it? Then there's an Artist as well. But I think we're going to take the Artisan. It's just a solid card. It's got synergy with Trinketeer. It's got synergy with Fireweavers. Synergy with Welding Sparks. Let's go for the synergy things. Self-Assembler does too. But Artisan's cheaper and doesn't require me finding another assembler to be good. It just is going to make the deck. So we'll take the Artisan here. Ooh, another Welding Sparks. Beautiful. Well, it's a pretty obvious pick, so we'll take it. Another Pyro Helix. All right. So we're taking it over a Fragmentize. Sure. So we have Maneuver, which synergizes with... Well, it protects our Trinketeer. It has a little bit of synergy with Warden because you can like basically reset Warden and exile something that's a bigger threat. It's got synergy with Artisan, Pioneer, and that's it. So kind of low synergy overall. I mean, technically you can do it with Grubs, but it's not really, especially if you've already attacked and used your energy, it's not really synergy. I'm okay with the Harrier. It does fly. I mean, this also just offers some protection. But I mean, Harrier flies. It's playable. We'll take it. Okay. So now we have Mechanic versus Artist. So Mechanic's cheaper. It gets rid of pesky revoke privileges, which I do like. Also Malfunction. It's an Artificer. And then there's Artist, which can get haste. But I'm okay taking the Mechanic here, actually. I like the Mechanic. Been overall pretty impressed with it. So I'll take the Scourge now. I mean, it's a good aggressive card. It's more exciting than the Gremlin, so okay. So our curve is good. Our plan is pretty solid. We need some more artifacts, though. How many cards do we have to synergize with our Fire Weavers currently? We have Artisan, Freighter, Trinketeer, Pioneer, Mastodon. So we only have 5 cards right now that synergize with the Fire Weaver. We really want to up that count. We'll take the Demolish here for the sideboard. Prefer to not main deck it. So I think we're going to prioritize artifacts very highly. The only things I would consider taking them over them are bomb removal spells or just bomb creatures. So we can take the Artist now, or we can take the Inspired Charge. Charge is not bad. We have some token production at the moment. I like the Artist. Let's just make sure we get a Charge. I wouldn't mind having access to that. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up with enough creatures. I do like the Artist, but I think we might be able to do better. Not a great chance we're going to end up playing Reunion. I'm kind of on the fence with some of these cards. Like, I wouldn't mind just running the low curve red-white aggro deck again. We'll let somebody have a Mind Rot. So we don't need a ton to make this deck work in Pack 3. So really, once again, I'm just prioritizing artifacts very highly to really try and capitalize on these Fire Weavers, as well as make our Welding Sparks better. Admittedly, the last deck looked a little bit better just because we had double Veteran Motorist, but this deck kind of wants a Artificer's Goggles as well. So we can take an Artisan, but I think we're just going to slam this Freighter. Freighter number 2. Perfect for what our deck wants to do. Actually, just really good cards in here for us. I like the Filigree Familiar. This card seems more of like a mid to late game strategy card. It's still very playable in a deck like this. It's just less exciting because it doesn't push through damage the way you want it to, but certainly a high value card. There's the Artisan, which would be great for us, and the Fire Weaver, which is starting to look ambitious since we're on the last pack, but we're picking up an artifact here. We still have time out of this pack 3, like I said, to just pick up artifacts and really go to town. So let's take the Freighter and be happy about it. Jeez, a Stomper. That card's strong. So probably just want the Augmenter here. We're going to take it over the Fire Weaver. We may very well wheel these Fire Weavers, but Augmenter is going to be fantastic with Fire Weavers and the Inspired Charge for that matter, as well as the Trinketeer. So this is just a very good card for us. Get rid of the Harrier. So I guess Augmenter would have been good with our the Acrobatic Maneuver that we took the Harrier over. So maybe we should have just taken the Maneuver. Although I'm not very confident we're gonna have enough space in the deck for either of those cards anyway. So it probably doesn't matter. But at least we're 2 for 2 on getting artifact cards out of this. All right, 3 for 3, baby. I'm going to take the Artisan over the 3rd Pyrohelix. There is an Inventor's Apprentice, which obviously has some artifact synergy as well. But we are still in the market for cards that generate multiple bodies, for Inspired Charge, and synergize with our Fire Weavers, Welding Sparks, and Trinketeer, all of which Artisan does. So we'll take it. What's the next weakest card in our deck? Could be the Mechanic, although at this point we have 4 cards that work pretty well with it. Brazen Scourge is double red, which is looking less attractive in a deck that where it's the only double red card. Might make our mana a little bit more difficult, but that being said, it is a very aggressive card. I definitely want to play as Built to Smash. And Thriving Grubs are actually, I mean, if you play them on turn 2, they're pretty aggressive. Attacking for 3 on turn 3 is pretty good. So we can take the Apprentice now, give it a try. I mean, it could be very aggressive. Otherwise, we could take the Artist. But why don't we try the Apprentice out? I think at this point we probably, maybe not, but I thought maybe we'd have enough artifact generation. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8's not bad. I'd like some more, but we'll consider the Apprentice over the Artist here. I'd like the low curve deck again. That was cool. So we have Built to Last, Speedway Fanatic, Fireforger's Puzzle Knot. So Speedway Fanatic's going to have amazing synergy with our 2 Freighters. Puzzle Knot usually is a pretty unexciting card, but we really did want to make... I mean, we have quite a few Artifact Matters cards at this point. So I could take the Puzzle Knot. I do like the idea of the Fanatic, though. Like, turn 2 Fanatic, turn 3 Freighter is... That'll put a game away. I've played against that, and it was actively gross. I think we're going to take Fanatic over Puzzle Knot. There's not a lot... All right, Captured by the Consulate. As much as I like the card, I don't think it's what we're looking for because we're attacking in. So we'll take the Torch Gauntlet here. We were looking for more artifacts. I would prefer the Artificer's Goggles for all the Artificers we have, but I'm going to have to settle for the Gauntlet here. Okay, Infiltrator over the Assistant. Assistant can bring back our Freighters, but overall is fairly unexciting. We'll take the Infiltrator. It's aggressive. So Artisan over Gremlins. Get more artifact production on a good body. Sounds good. Seems good, one could say. So we have quite a few cuts to make. Always, as I love to say, the best problem to have. All right, so we're not going to cut a single artifact from this deck to really hope to make these Fire Weavers better. Like the Artist. All right, so no artifacts getting cut, which means we're going to have to figure out some other things to cut. I'd rather go on the Fireweaver plan than the Apprentice plan, especially since the only turn 2 artifact we have is Torch Gauntlet. So I think actually Apprentice is overall just not that good in this deck. But yeah, we'll figure out some more cuts to make. We'll figure it out. We'll get it all squared away. Okay. So, yeah, we have a lot of cuts to make. We have a lot of creatures, though. We got double Freighter. I think our final artifact count is like 10, which is certainly, hopefully, good enough. Let's do a count, I guess. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10. 10 is good. So, not a single artifact card is going to get cut. Not a single one, which means we have a lot of other cuts to make. So, Apprentice is going to leave. I guess I do kind of like the mechanic with triple Artisan, Pioneer, Augmenter. That's probably enough synergy where I just need to keep it around. But maybe not. I don't know yet. I kind of want to be off the Brazen Scourge, really just minimize the double red in our deck. I like the Brazen Scourge, but I'm not even sure I'm going to have to do the Infiltrator or the Artist either. Like, we can just stay focused on a really low curve. We're going to run the Mastodon, though, to just have one top end. Like, I like the idea of playing a bunch of Fire Weavers and then, you know, playing a turn 5 Mastodon. Although this is going to be a 16 land deck, so we're only going to cut 6 cards. But I think the Infiltrator and the Scourge and the Artist, we can cut these 3 creatures and be happy enough with that. Which means I still need to make 3 more cuts. I still kind of want to run Charge. I think this deck could benefit pretty greatly from it. We can afford to cut at least a couple more creatures. I'm not exactly sure if I want the Impeccable Timing. I've got better removal, like Warden, Double Sparks. Even Built to Smash lets us push through more damage, so I like the Smash more than the Timing. And the Pyrohelix can also burn face, which I think is better. So I might just cut the Timing. And maybe I will cut the Mechanic. I could cut a Grub. Mechanic, I probably am going to diversify and run one Grub, one Mechanic. Probably. But I think I'm going to cut the Timing. And I think I'm going to cut a Grub. And I guess I could cut one of my Fire Weavers. Do I not need 5? I've got 10, like I said, 10 cards that synergize with it. If I have 4 Fire Weavers, I should probably be pretty happy, but maybe we try 5 out, see what happens. I mean, they're okay with the Torch Gauntlet. 3/3. I just like the idea of burning my opponent with... Like, Fire Weavers with the Trinketeer is so good. It kind of sucks that Fire Weaver can't crew the Freighter by itself, at least. That is a bit of a problem. But, I mean, everything else we have can do it, so it's really not that... It's not a big deal. But I think we want this Charge. Like, Charge gives us something to do if we're stalled. The Fire Weavers seem a lot worse when you don't have Artificer's Goggles. 3 of them, to be exact. So if I cut these 2, I'm still left with what? 5 removal spells, which is certainly a healthy number. I can afford to cut 1 more creature. I mean, these guys will put games away. These duders. I want to see what 5 Fire Weavers can do. Last cut. Maybe just the Grub. I like the Grubs, but I kind of like everything else we're doing more. And like I said, 10 artifacts is a good number. I'm counting Trinketeer as an artifact, even though it's not. Alright, so I think we're running it like this. We're going to try 16 lands again. See what 5 Fire Weavers can do with 10 artifacts. So only, I guess, if it's 10 artifact, it's only 25% of our deck is artifacts. So that means what? 1 in every 4 spells we play is going to be able to trigger Fire Weaver, which doesn't sound like a lot. Like, I don't know what the average number of spells cast in a game is, but I think I'm still... It still feels like something that would be worth going for. If you can deal enough damage in the beginning, or at any point, I mean, these will seal the deal on a game. All right, I guess we're trying it like this. So a couple double white. We're probably just going to do an even split for that reason. They agree. And yeah, so we'll run it like this. Cool little deck. Let's see if the game plan works for us. All right, running it like this. We'll see you round 1.